WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Welcome to West Virginia Uncommon Place. Today is a special episode. I have with me
Stacey
and
Austin Sparrow Cruz.
And that's my mother. Today's episode, we shine light on mothers. Stacey's got a great mom. I've got a great mom. But I want to talk a little bit real quick, Mom, and I'm going to refer to you as Rosalind on the show, no disrespect intended. I wanted you to tell a story about my grandmother, Darlene. Grandmother Darlene is your mother. She lived a very long life, and, you know, she was out there running around. She was a good lady, smooth talker in the church, in all kinds of different businesses that we won't talk about on this show. But please tell me a story about your mom that you'll never forget.
I will never forget the time my mother told me to come in the house, and I was slow moving. When I did get into the house, I tell you this much, I remember it for a lifetime. She also was very fair, and she didn't do no wrong to nobody. She helped as many people as she could.
Yeah, always a staple in the community. She ran a restaurant that was very popular beside Penn's Barbershop right there in Lynchburg. And now there's a new restaurant in this place now, you know, because they revitalized, they gentrified Lynchburg now, and it's a little upscale in those areas that used to be the hood. So what is a lasting memory, though, that you have of her? Like something that, you know, you can close your eyes and just see?
Well, when you and Darlene were little, I used to take y'all down to the restaurant, and I would have a playpen I would put y'all in, and I would help my mother wash dishes, scrub the floor, anything she needed. They had a thriving business, her and Mr. Graham. And my mother, like I said before, was a very unique lady. She was the pillow of the community. She was very well known and respected.
All right, that's good. Now, I'll give you mine real quick, and then we'll jump over to Stacey. Stacey shook her head no. What you mean, no?
I mean, this is your mama's episode.
Well, this is an episode about mothers in general. So I'll give you my lasting memory of you, Mom. So this is what will stick with me and always go with me no matter where I go in life. On the weekends, on Fridays or Saturdays, it didn't matter what was going on. You, my Aunt Ruby, Marion, Aunt Judy, all these people would get together and make sure that y'all went to the Chinese buffet with the crab legs. And I never understood what the whole idea was about getting crab legs, because I thought crab legs were fairly cheap, you know. But y'all went there and y'all used to wolf down on crab legs. And I always remember what you told me when I would go with y'all to eat at these places, because sometimes it would be like a women's night out or something like that. You told me to make sure I filled up on all the soda I wanted before I went home. Because you said, paying back then, I think the price of a soda was $1.79, and that was the price of a 2-liter back then. You told me drink enough soda that it equal to a 2-liter. And to this day, I don't care where I go in life. If that drink rings up to 3-something, I'm drinking 2 liters worth of soda before I leave. The people at IHOP, the people at various restaurants, they always give me a to-go cup or do something extra. They give me a larger-than-life cup because I sit there and I drink them so fast that I make them work for that tip that they're getting. So that's my lasting effect there from you, is that I always know to drink a 2-liter of soda wherever I go.
Darlene drank sodas too, you know.
Yeah, she drank Pepsi. She was an avid Pepsi drinker. And I'm an avid Dr. Pepper drinker. And what's your soda?
Pepsi.
Pepsi, so you follow the same thing. Now, outside of that, going deeper into things, like I learned a lot from you, so I'll give you your flowers real fast. What I learned was I need to be a little cunning about things. So I took the cunningness, not necessarily an attribute that you have, but I took cunningness and I took that to the far extreme. And I made sure that I was cunning, and I made sure that I was likable in everything that I do. Not everybody's going to like me, but they're going to like what I do. So that's something I will tell you that I will take, from now until the world flips over again. I will take that from you, and I will tell you thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Now, Stacy, on the other hand, her mom, Pam. Pam is an amazing lady. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Now, my mom has not met Pam yet. Pam, the first day I met her, right, it was snowing. And
when you first met her, it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't supposed to do anything. And then we got the snowstorm.
Yeah, so the snowstorm hits, right? And
because you and I were out, it was like our second date, maybe?
Yeah, second or third date, yeah.
And we were in Parkersburg, and she decided that day of all days she wanted to go to town.
Right. And let me tell you a story, Mom, about her mom about town. When you go to town is 30 minutes away from where they live.
30, 45, yeah.
Yeah, 45 minutes away. So when they come to town, it's like a planned thing. It didn't like where we're from. We can go be at Walmart in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So her mom decides that she wants to go to town, blah, 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 blah. It starts snowing. Well, mind you, I didn't have my vehicle then, did I?
No, because you were in Parkersburg on a job that
I was working.
You had a vehicle for that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't luxury that I can drive around. It was...
Right, for work. So, yeah, I had a work vehicle. So her mom, inside the snow, just decides all of a sudden, doesn't know me from a can of paint, that I can drive her car.
Yeah. Well, because she doesn't drive in the snow. She doesn't drive in the rain. She doesn't drive at night. Nothing. And once she had told me that she was in town and we noticed it was starting to stick, I had to call her. It's like, I have JR. He can drive your car home and I can drive you home.
And that's how I met her mother. And her mother, didn't talk much. Once you get to know Pam will talk your head off. Mm-hmm. But if she don't know you, she's real quiet. So one thing I'll say about her is that she has a great value of going from shy to 100 miles an hour.
Right. Well, usually she's surrounded by people that do the talking. So she kind of just sits in the corner.
Yeah.
And then when somebody actually gives her room to talk, that's when she starts to talk. Because my family's full of talkers.
Yeah, everybody talks.
Both sides. Nobody ever shuts up.
And I'll say this while we got you on here. She has this cousin that I won't mention her name, but she has this cousin that talks a mile a minute too. Talks more than me. And I'm one of the most illustrious talkers I've ever met in my life. So, we're going forward. I wasn't going to make this a very long episode, just something to shout out there. So I wanted to tell you thank you, Mom. Thank you for inspiring me, making me move and groove, and sometimes doing things that I didn't want to do have helped to mold me who I am today. So definitely want to say thank you to you on that one.
You're welcome, son.
All right, so what I want you to do for the audience real quick, I need you to definitely put this out there. There's people out here that have issues and they have faults and they have problems with their parents. Can you please explain to the audience that it doesn't matter what happens between you and your parents, they are still your parents, and even though you may not see eye to eye, you can still communicate with your parents and you can get closure to anything that happens to you.
That's correct. You also should always obey your parents so that you'll live longer on this earth, and respect them because they can take you out just as quick as you came in.
And that's true on certain ends, because sometimes we outgrow our parents, but it don't mean they can't pick up that belt and get you. And for anybody that's sensitive, I did say belt. I didn't say any other type of weapon. So in closing, Mom, I wanted to tell you early on, this is our Mother's Day episode, so I want to say Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
And other than that, thank you for being an avid listener, and thank you for always letting me know that you see them Instagram posts and you like everything. You like everything on a 30-day scale. You might like it on the 1st, you might like it on the 15th, you might like it on the 30th.
That's correct. I am making a bigger effort to listen to your podcast.
Okay, so on that note, I want to thank you for coming on to West Virginia Commonplace, and on that note, we're signing off.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at onecommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.